afraid of SpaceX's achievements. Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin sued the US government over NASA's decision to award a $2.9 billion lunar lander contract to Elon Musk's SpaceX. Blue Origin said about its lawsuit filed in the US Court of Federal Claims on Friday that an attempt to remedy the flaws in the acquisition process found in NASA's human landing system. They also added the issues identified in this procurement and its outcomes must be addressed to restore fairness, create competition, and ensure a safe return to the moon for America. Last month, the Government Accountability Office sided with NASA over its decision to pick a single lunar lander provider, rejecting Blue Origin's protest. Blue Origin's lawsuit remains under seal. NASA must file a response to the challenge by October 12th. Blue Origin and defense contractor Dynetics have argued that NASA was required to make multiple awards, which is far from the truth. NASA was expected to pick 2 companies to build a lunar lander for the upcoming Artemis mission, but it was not mandatory. Selecting a single contractor means that NASA can attempt to get back to the moon on budget Congress has approved, as SpaceX's $2.9 billion bid was substantially less expensive than competing proposals, and the company plans to pay for more than half of the Starship's development cost. More than one contractor would have only increased cost and complexity for NASA. Yes, NASA won't have any backups, but we don't think they will even need one considering what SpaceX has done in the past few years alone. Jeff Bezos even offered NASA a discount of up to $2 billion to give his space company, Blue Origin, the contract to the human lunar landing system. Escalating his space war with Musk, Bezos, in an open letter to the NASA administration, Bill Nelson, said that his company would close the US Space Agency's near-term budgetary shortfall and produce a safe and sustainable lander that will return Americans to the surface of the moon, and this time, stay. When we look at that day when NASA picked SpaceX, no company has even built their vision of the lunar lander except SpaceX. SpaceX even tested multiple Starship prototypes before NASA selected them for Artemis. Yes, these are not exactly the same as the lunar lander versions of the rocket, but SpaceX still had a rocket to show what they were capable of. Moreover, Starship will not only be capable of going to the moon, but it will also be able to travel to the deepest places in space. According to SpaceX, there will be multiple variants of the Starship. The first of them all, the crewed Starship. This variant is the most important version of all of them. This rocket will carry up to 100 passengers and can be operated for pretty long distances, to places like the moon, Mars, and most likely beyond. The second version of this is the cargo Starship. In this variant, the rocket's bay doors will open like a large-jawed crocodile. It will have a stunning 1,000 cubic meters of usable space for both goods and cargo. The third variant, the tanker Starship. This version of the rocket will be used for an on-orbit refueling, which will reduce the cost of Starship's operation. The fourth one-way Starship. This variant won't be developed in the near future, but SpaceX has plans to build it in the long term as technology keeps moving forward. The rocket will only be made to inject payloads into our outer solar system. The fifth version, Lunar Starship. This rocket will only be used for lunar missions. The rocket will only stay in space between the Earth and the Moon. This version of Starship won't have the large flaps or heat shield, as it won't be re-entering the Earth's atmosphere. And the current sixth version, Earth Transport. This rocket is going to be used for point-to-point travel just on Earth. Do note that NASA is aiming to send the next person to the lunar surface by 2024, this time to stay and build a moon base. After that, there are many more missions planned for the moon. To execute everything properly, they will need a lunar lander. So SpaceX Starship will give NASA a boost, as we have seen SpaceX's ability to build starships rapidly. Next time on Discover Zen, we will be discussing how will SpaceX make rocket fuel on Mars. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, please click that like button and subscribe. Let us know in the comments below, how successful you think Starship is going to be. Until next time.